Well. Good morning and welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Carrie. Hello, everyone. Cool. Yeah. Saturday, December 30th. Uh, Happy New Year's Eve. I've seen a lot of people doing that this year. They've been doing the day before an Eve, so I thought, why not? So yeah, no, I mean, tomorrow, New Year's Eve, I mean, geez, oh, Pete's, crazy to see how fast uh, the last week is gone. I mean, you never realize it always seems like forever we're going to get here. And then, hey, Jason, hey, Margaret. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would agree with you. Where has it? I mean, it, it's weird because it takes forever to get here. And then we're, struggling to get through everything. And it could be, she might, you never know, Dad. But no, yeah, it's just wild to see how fast this month, once it gets here, the weeks just disappear. And yet some days still felt like, forever in a day that we'd get through it. But here we are, right? So we're ready to go. We're ready to move on. And so yeah, I mean, I know there's a few of you here, so I'm just kind of curious how everybody's Christmas went, or whatever you celebrate, if you did or didn't. So I was just curious to see how everybody enjoyed their week. I know for me, excuse me. By the way, I was debating before I started the show. I don't know why. Uh, this is literally my first cup of coffee today. So I was gonna, just jump on the show and just start arguing and just being mean and stuff like that. And then I'd take a sip and then it would just, all change. And I thought that'd be hilarious, right? But I can't do that. I mean, I could pretend it, I could certainly act that way. but I'm truly working on cup number one. So it's and I've already, in the 10 minutes that I've been down here sitting at my desk waiting to launch, I've already got through half a cup. So I'm like, I'm gonna be out a cup of coffee before 10:30, that's for sure. So yeah, right. The anti-murder button. Yeah. Festive. Yeah, Dad, it does. Good to hear, Margaret. Yep. Won't be here for about a week. Yeah, I got you. Yep. Yeah, I know ours. We're not doing ours. Well, my side of the family is tomorrow, so um, bit different, a bit different this year because normally we'd just wait till the evening and then we'd be doing Christmas and hanging out. Then celebrating New Year's is the midnight hit, and so a little bit differently. My daughter wants to hang out with her boyfriend at his uncle's house, so I will not be seeing her for the first time, when the new year hits. So we're doing things earlier so that way we can get, all the gifts and things exchanged and stuff like that. So, all right, Carrie. All right. I get you our money. But yeah, no, Christmas went well, you know, uh, you know, yeah, nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. I really didn't ask for anything. I half the time I just don't know, and I know a lot of times there's hey, good morning, Debbie. There's just things that throughout the year I just end up grabbing myself, and it's like because I have the hey Michelle, good morning. I just have the opportunity to snag those items throughout the year, and I just do that instead of just waiting 6, 7, 8, 10 months, for to finally, get it. So I ended up just, would snag something, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I just don't know, because there's always something out there that would be kind of fun to use or utilize for some type of project and things. And so, but then again, it's not like money's just rolling in either. So it's not like you would think, but yeah, no, it went well. I mean, I got a few things that I had no idea. So I was pretty surprised on it. So, which is cool. I don't mind surprises. That's true. That's true, Armani. Yeah, there's always lots of cool sales. I mean, I know, I mean, anybody that checks their emails that's ever bought something online, you- you'll be. I've seen it, really before Christmas, obviously, prepping for it, but now it's like, everything's starting to get marked way down. I would imagine that today and tomorrow is going to be even more crazy with the emails with how much stuff they're just trying to sell. Especially today, tomorrow, because they'll be wanting to end their books for their. Hey, Ron, good morning. It's true, Dad. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, hanging out. I mean, if you have the opportunity to hang out with family and have some. My money is rolling in, but right, Debbie. um, yeah, no, yeah, you can't fault being around family and friends and hanging out. I mean, all the really good meals tend to show up, you know. So yeah, and sometimes some of it is limited to here. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Armani. Yeah, Ron, cup of hot chocolate from, and that's all right. Hey, you can do that, man. Hey, Jamie, good morning. Yep, that's what we're doing. I'm just kind of talking about that right now, actually. So if you used it, I know Jamie is my cousin's wife, and I know she had a amazing gift that her daughter made for her, which was really really cool. And I've talked about her before, and my cousin and stuff, and her father passed away, the year before, and so uh, she her daughter made her this pillow, and what was neat was it was made out of the shirts that he used to wear, and so it was kind of like Hawaiian shirts and things, so I had a front and back. But the one thing that Jamie didn't see right away was the fact that there was a button on one side, and I saw the video because they posted it, and it was neat to hear her daughter say, oh yeah, flip it over and unbutton it. And so then that was a really cool reaction, which was um, uh, the signature, of her dad that said "Love, Dad." And so that was a cool gift. So I mean, I'm glad that was filmed and shown, because that was true. That was truly amazing. So I like that. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Yeah. They were. I I mean, even I felt for you, Jamie. So yeah, she's only 12 and came up with it. Yeah, and that's, I mean, and people have been doing that. I mean, I've seen that too, where, you got shirts that you don't want to keep anymore, but yet you still love those shirts. And some people make them into blankets and so forth. So, I mean, that was a great idea, and if you think about it, pillow is always a type of comfort thing too. Something you can grab and squeeze onto, and, you're not going to get any, fight back. It's not going to fight you back, so, let's see. Morning, Ann. Good morning. So, yeah, so that was a cool thing. So, yeah, so obviously there were some, things you got to see out there that people got some really cool gifts and things. But like I said, I didn't really ask for much, and like I said, I just, if there's something I can get throughout the year, I'll save up for it and then just grab it, and so it's easier that way. Instead of always just like, because sometimes a lot of the stuff I want, I'm going to use for something, for a project, and that's like for me, um, I know ever since getting back to doing lives again and things, I wanted and this is something I was going to talk about. Well, actually, you know what? I'll save that for later. So, but there's a reason for like some things that I've picked up so I can use later on, which I'm going to. So, Jamie's saying, as a fact that, you know what? I always forget to do this sometimes. As a fact that she sewed it herself, and for some reason the shirt still smells like them, even though it had been right. Oh, you know what? I think it always will. Well, and you think about it, you even just one full day of wearing it, his energy was, completely put into that fabric. And there really isn't anything you can do to take away his energy from there. Obviously, if you start holding on to it forever and ever and ever, it's going to slowly kind of fade. It'll still always be there. But at the same time, that's why it's neat when I can do it. I haven't and other holistic metaphysical types can do this, where they can pick up an object and hold it and get basically kind of like a history. It's almost like reading everything down. So that's kind of fun to do, is that you can pick up that item and you can kind of talk about a certain moment that they had, while whether it's like a watch or like a shirts. Those are kind of neat. Hey, Sharon, good morning. I've got a blanket made of it. That's cool, Arma. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I've thought about it, because I mean, I've got so many T-shirts too that it's like, I can't fit them in dressers, and I have them in piles, So it's kind of crazy to think of how much shirts I have, because I don't even want to try to count. But Marcus, I'm considering having a blanket made, for some of Jerry's funny shirts, at least the ones I don't. Right? Yeah. No, I mean it's a great idea to do, and there's companies out there that do that, and I think it's fantastic. And and it's another great way of keeping the memory alive, and at the same time, you're just not having stacks of stuff, laying around too. But yeah, I mean, I think at some point too. I mean, I have retired shirts, and then um donated some, to local charities and things like that. And then there's some that I've actually, boxed up, because they're just ones that got too many memories to it. I mean, I still got a few shirts that I had in high school. I mean, and Christ, that was forever ago. So, but I still have some of those that, just that the memories of still, just as soon as I see that shirt or feel that shirt, it's just like, holy smokes. So, so even then, in the aspect of what I was just talking about, even my energy, you could still sense that stuff. You could still, it just triggers those moments in time. And so that's kind of cool. Um, because everybody really can do that. I mean, if you think about it, if you had a shirt sitting in a closet for a long time and it's in the back of the closet, and then you pull that shirt out and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this. And it's kind of the same concept. You end up jumping on that and being like, you can just almost see as if it was yesterday. So that's just another little bit of proof that we do all have abilities, if you will, but it's kind of neat. So happens when you're in music. Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I know you do a lot of music and you play music. So, hey, Amber, good morning. Yeah. So, I mean, it makes complete sense to have a ton of it. Yeah. Yep. So, but, yeah, no, it's, the Christmas was great. And like I said, there's still a little bit to go tomorrow. And, but, we're doing that early in the morning. So we're going to be doing like a Hey, Chad, what's up, bud? I have a couple shirts of my dad that kept at the bottom of my dresser, 2 in the bag because they smell like him. And oh yeah, no, see, there you go. Yep, that makes complete sense. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's even another thing too, is you can kind of still kind of close that up, or even do like a vacuum seal one, which would that'll protect it even more. Um, but yeah, but if you just ziplock it up or something like that, yeah, you can. That's kind of a cool thing too. If you ever just need that moment where you need that loved one to um, really trigger that memory or help you out in a moment, where something's not going right. And it's special to do that. And like I said, even if you've had the item or the item sits out, uh out on a bookshelf or on a shelf, in other parts of your home and stuff like that, it'll never really truly lose their energy all the way. I mean, technically, technically you can wipe it, but I don't think there's that many people that are going to wipe their loved ones' energies, the ones that you know used it or wore it, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, you just, not too many of us are just going to, just erase our loved ones' memories that are off of an item, and or something that's yours, like, we're talking about our own shirts and things, you're still going to have that stuff there, but why would you want to erase that? I mean, the only time that comes into effect is when you're dealing with some bad stuff, there's really something bad attached to it. And so, yeah, you can work it out and get rid of it. But yeah, take a smell every once in a while. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, with a marble. Yeah. Amber, if I went the opposite of my gut feeling, that's when I'd be right. Oh, but you gotta love the gut feeling because it's usually typically right every single time. The only time it's wrong is because you've either delayed acting on it or reacting to it, or you fought at it. You just were like, nope, nope. So yeah, a lot. I've played the games, when I started getting into this path, and you it's funny. You test it, where you like ignore something. Hey Tim, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Um, Hey, I appreciate you jumping on for a few minutes, man. I know you're always on the go, or getting home, from work, so it's like, or going to bed, really, at this point. So, hey, Dessa. So, good morning. And yeah, let's see. Reminds me, but with the bad attachments of them. Yeah, right, right. And then there's that too. You could be there's several people out there that are collectors of haunted items, and there's nothing wrong with that either. If that's your thing, and there's nothing wrong in that. I know several people, or Monty's one of them. So I do know several that are, collectors of things that are haunted. But yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool to have that kind of those items and things around and displayed, and because I know I've done readings and over the years, and like an image of whatever their loved one was coming through, and they're like they describe something, whether it's a watch or a necklace or something or ring or there's been a few different variations of stuff, but just items. And then the people have like scratched their heads, and finally they go digging through. Yeah, some of you go digging through, and then they find that item, and they're just like, one, they're blown away because they're like, hey, and then they'll hey, hold that item or put that item on, just memory sake for them. But if you need a moment to feel good about something, maybe you're feeling down and you need to pick me up, and so that's one of those still physical objects that are here in this life, that you can still grab and still have that connection to your loved one because their energy was in that. I mean, jewelry of any type, I mean, you think about it, how much that's worn, daily, and sometimes they never come off, and so just to have that item when your possession, then I mean, it's yeah, see, Margaret's one of them. Yeah, she wears her husband's watch. So I mean, like I said, it doesn't um it makes it helps so much, for a lot of things. And I think some people, forget about that. I get it. We lose people. It's part of our process. So you always feel that loss. But then when you get to still have these objects, if you really open up to those objects, it's not like the objects are going to talk to you, but at the same time, it brings up those fun memories, those good memories, those loving memories. And that's what it's supposed to be, is though they're supposed to help you kind of shake off the real emotional stuff. Yes, it's sad when we go, but at the same time, it's just so amazing that when you get to still hold those things, and it really does help you. I mean, it helps our human existence, our brains, cope with things, and everybody goes through something different. I know so many of you in the chat, and I know some that are probably aren't watching, they go through so many different processes of when they've lost their loved ones, and depending on what relations they had with them, whether it's a wife or a husband or a kid or something, or grandparents. And but we all have those emotions, and it's nice to have those physical objects because they really do kind of have that last little bit of who those people that passed on are with you. And Debbie's saying, I carry my dad's hanky. See, yeah, I mean, that's, I think it's important. I think it is important because it's one of those things that you can just look at and be like, hey, this really, helps me remember things, or it helps me get through a moment, or just makes me feel like they're there again, Yeah. And say like, there's my dad. I mean, it's just the memories, and that's fine too. I mean, you don't have to have a physical item to create those memories. I mean, that's the whole point of remembering, the moments and things. But I mean, that's what's neat about everything, is it's there's something for everybody that can help them out, especially when they lost somebody. So whether it's an item or whether it's just like that, like my dad, it's just he just remembers all the memories, and that's cool too. You don't have to have something in your hand. It's not required, but it does. For some people it does, because it's hard to to literally go from having this person next to you to then not having them there, and then you just don't have that piece of them standing there. But yet if you have a piece of jewelry or something else, or a shirt or whatever right there, it feels like they're there again, which in turn they technically are anyway. So I always said, I always said when, people pass, I said, you got to give them a few days, to do their thing. They have a process they have to go through. Give them a couple days, really 3 days to be at the minimum. Give them 3 days. And then you can start, ask them to hang out, asking them to come visit, or ask you to get you through, the next several weeks, as things, progress, and like funeral arrangements and so forth. So, when I keep a CD of Pika. It was in my warm. Okay, okay. Oh, cool. I get you. Yeah. So there you go. Yep. Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. That's real powerful. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I hope everybody had a good week. I was trying to think of some other things that have popped up. Um, geez. I know I didn't really write a whole lot of notes because I figured it was just I was this was the whole point, was it to be open anyway. So I mean, um, it just was kind of shooting for the breeze or whatever has happened. Oh, no kidding. You got his ring too. Wow. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess as we kind of push towards, the new year, 2024, hopefully, regardless of how your year went, like most of that this wasn't my best year. I still basically, partially shut down, still, and I hoping in the new year things will start picking up on that aspect again, so I can start doing some readings and things a little bit more frequently again, and get out a little bit more. So there's obviously things that I'm looking forward to. There's also just stuff that I started to mention earlier, but like I said, there's some things that I've done that when I've saved up, which takes forever, because money wasn't exactly easy this year. But I got some ideas that I want to do some New Year's resolution time. Yeah, kind of Amber. um, that yeah, I wanted to, I had when I was doing like when I did the trailer for me to come back, to doing live shows again. I it took a couple weeks to shoot all that footage because I needed over 30 clips to put that minute and 40-second, video together, which is, it was crazy to think of how much I had to shoot or reshoot, or, develop into something. But I've wanted to do that. I wanted to kind of get into that a little bit more. I mean, I've been grateful to work, on some film projects. I get to do, one, um, I'm going to be a part of the second shoot, for Cruel Summer 3, which I've talked about before. So I'm going to be on the second shoot, which I believe is going to now be in March. So I get to, act, I'll have a couple lines at the in the movie, and so there's that aspect of it. But I'm always I've been really fascinated on, the film stuff, and you know I've been wanting to just do I've been wanting to push into something, but not at the same time overdoing things. But just put like things like that, like I did, like put that trailer together, um, shoot like little segments. And I don't know if they'll necessarily be like, I don't know. I haven't decided. I mean, there's some fun ones I want to do, like, music videos type of thing where it's not necessarily, uh, I'm not reinventing. It's just like it's just taking songs that exist, and maybe it was impactful for me in my life, and then create my vision of of what that song meant to me through my eyes, and then shoot, that would pertain right along with, the lyrics and things. So there's been some concept of that coming up to where I'd like to just have fun. So it isn't necessarily, I'm not, I mean, I play music, but I'm not going to rewrite the music to then play it. I may do the pretending of lip syncing or something like that, just to get the emotion side of it in there. But I will, Armani, no problem. But I will, but that's what I want to do. I mean, I've been thinking about that for years, actually, way before 2020. I've been wanting to do that, and so I've slowly over the last couple years have acquired, just like little lights and things like that. Nothing crazy. I mean, we're talking dirt cheap stuff, but um, just things to give some ambient light, or like this. Like, I mean, I got so many lights that are pointed on me right now, that, just little things like that would just, give that, not that grainy look. Cause I mean, when I did the one segment in that trailer clip, that I wanted it dark, but at the same time, because it's so dark, the camera was starting to look like it was fuzzy, like it was an old camera, which is fine. It adds to the subliminal aspect of what was being seen, shown there. But it's just the part of, I'd like to have a little bit more light, even if it just is not really super bright. But so that's why I have a lot of like little lights that'll just add to scenes that I want to create, or little skit things, that I've been tossing around in my head for years. And so it'd be fun to do that. And you know if I can't get to do things, this will be something to keep me, occupied. Not that I'm going to be taken away from all my other responsibilities, but you shoot a little bit here, you shoot here, you take a day to do this, and then you just kind of put this together. So so there's some things that I want to do, it's probably just going to be a wide variety of things, but um, yeah, yeah, I know, and it's just I'm going back up a little bit. I know Carrie is saying she wants to do a lot more outdoor stuff. Hey, that's okay. Well, yeah, you guys have that big one that you guys do every year, every once a month. Is that still going on, Carrie, this year? That the through the warmer months. I can't even remember the I can't remember the name of it. So help me out, Carrie. I'm sorry. I'll definitely help promote it. um, let's see. And my friend Jen saying, whenever I use songs from others, I get dinged and copy. Right. Well, and that's the thing is, Jen, and just your aspect is, obviously you can do stuff. You have to click on so many things to say that the stuff is copyrighted. You're not monetizing it. You know, there's probably going to be some stuff that if I do some of it, it's not necessarily going to be even public worthy. It'll be more of like, showing a friend or something, that's in the same room. Just because of hassles like that of where, and I get it, and I'm not trying to make anything off it. It's just my interpretation of things. And that's all I'm trying to do. It's not for monetary gain or, it's literally just because it's just fun. I want it to be fun for me because that's the whole point anyway. Even if because there's a couple songs that I'd like to do that have some emotions to it. So, there could be that, power behind it, but it's still in a positive way. Um, Amber saying I put together myself a schedule, but a treat is optional because no one needs that negativity in their life. We live. Yeah, nope. That's great. That's great. Armani, I'm going to be a part of my homie. Her new song is working. Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Um, yeah, Dad, I do have responsibilities. What a personal year for 20. Well, Carrie, and yeah, Wild Wind. That's it. I knew I was like, I think there's a W in there somewhere. Right. I know no winter. Yeah, it was just the warmer months that which makes sense. Wild Wind. That's right. Thank you. Um, uh, yeah, no, I mean, well, Carrie, and that's the thing. Again, I'm not putting, I'm trying to make sure that like this year, I'm not, just demanding that this is it. Like, I want to share like what is going on. And like I said, I've always got something, bouncing around that like, oh, would that be kind of cool? Like, I mean, even then, the show, I mean, like last week having Tim Shaw, and like I said, this show was never designed for guests. And Jennifer Passavant has been on here, a couple times, but again, it was never designed for that. This was because it's so early in the morning and I just wanted to hang out, throw something out there, have a conversation, and then, everybody goes about their day, and so it wasn't designed that way. And that's because, you know, there's so many other shows that do that, and I used to do that too. And there those and that's the thing is I've just kind of wanted them to do that, and so I wanted to try to do something a little bit different. I wanted to wake up in the morning, because I'm already awake. And so it's easy for anybody to watch shows back. I mean, I have to do that at times too. There's plenty of people I miss some of their shows, so I watch it back, like if I have time at work or whatever, or listen to it in the car, when I'm driving back and forth. So, it's just those things. So there's so many people that are doing guest related shows, but the point is, I wanted to, I wanted to, that was a thought last year is that maybe once a month that I would create, just a new show. It would never be set on a specific day of the week, but it would definitely be, during the week. It would be an evening show. And that was to just have like solely one guest. And that was it. It wasn't meant to be a constant thing because, getting guests to land every single week, can be, hard, and so, I didn't want to put pressure on myself. Like, and that's the thing is, I can take 3 weeks to land a guest and then land that guest and then and there it is, but I'm not saying that's out of the loop. I'm not saying that that may never happen. I just have to see what's going to work, and schedule wise has to matter, because like with the kids and homework, sometimes my evenings can get pretty booked up. And so, And I know like Friday nights, Saturday nights, people are out doing things. We start getting into, you know, the events, that showing up. A lot of the Paracons, Parafest, the horror type of cons. A lot of those events are holistic fairs galore. And that people are going to be focused on that, and so it's tough to do weekend stuff. Like I said, this, doing a morning show, hey, everybody's waking up. We all got to, get up and get ready for the day. So that's the, that was like, this got at least some type of an audience that'll show up for me. Everybody wants to drink, their tea or coffee or hot chocolate or whatever to get their day started. And so, they might not be fully awake for it, but that's the thing is we can all hang out and just have a little bit of fun for it. But, uh, Okay, all right, Armani. You have a good one today. Oh, geez, you got no way. Yeah, yeah, there it is. It's never a dull moment. Take care, Armani. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Deza saying, I want to travel and explore more. Yeah, that's great, Deza. Yeah, I mean, there's, you could certainly get to a lot of cool places, even if you're not investigating. There's a lot of great stuff to go and do. Um, but yeah, and yeah, hang in there. So, yeah, I mean, I was, that was, like I said, you guys knew that I got promoted, and one little side thing is I got my very first check, and it wasn't, you know, you know, there's things that it, it's great to see that I got a bump in pay, which is great. Unfortunately, there's things that have to be taken out of our checks that I didn't expect to be as rough as it was. So, so my check wasn't as wonderful as I envisioned it to be. So, that's why, why I was saying that there's sometimes that I think I might be doing a little bit more localish film kind of projects, because at least I'll feel like I'm still doing something. Because even like what Dessa is saying, being able to get out and travel, I was kind of hoping that myself, like not a lot, but just to get back out there, because I haven't really truly recovered, since 2020. And uh the last couple of years has just been terrible with money, and I just don't have a whole lot. And when I have a little bit, it's like, something comes up, or whatnot, or I got to help with the family with something. Yeah, Carrie, that's kind of exactly what I, yeah. I wasn't trying to say that, but yeah, yeah, I was, I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I am still happy. I'm still, still gonna, I've got a little bit more in the check, just not as much as I thought was going to show. So, uh, it, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Amber. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I'm still grateful. There is still a little bit more than I was making. So, I mean, there isn't truly complaining. It's just that I had a lot more stuff envisioned on a lot of things that need to be fixed and repaired. And I have, just things like that that really need attention. And, you're just kind of putting band-aids on it, or you're just delaying as long as you can. And it's like, it's just not going to all be there now. Granted, because I've only got the one check, because we're done. And so my next check isn't until next week. So that's on the new year. So even then, I 2025 is going to be great on the returns. 2025. I'm going to love that check when it shows up. It is, Jamie. It is. I don't know. I kind of thought that maybe I mean, I had a vision. I kind of thought I had an idea of what I thought was going to come out. And then it was almost another double. And I was being reasonable. I didn't think I was being under, but somehow I was pretty low ball somehow. But whoo. So yeah, it is what it is. But that's why I said, the return will hopefully be a better thing. So, that check a year will be like, okay, good. I feel a little bit better. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I kind of felt pretty rough after that, because I was like, I'm looking at the check and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, that's nowhere near what I was thinking that it was going to be. But but that's the thing is, I was talking about that, all the time for years. I was like, you get you see things like that, there's still a positive in it. I'm not making less than I was making, so it's not like I'm any worse than I was. But and that's the thing is, I had my moment. I was for about an hour, just you had this vision of all these things you're gonna you got to repair, or you got to fix, or you got to um reduce, a little bit of debt. You just had all this row of stuff that just was all perfectly aligned. And then it was like, well, that's gonna get out, and that's gonna get you just start pulling things down, and like, I gotta squish that list down a little bit smaller. I'm like, it's not really what I wanted to do, but that's just life. That's just life. So I will, like I said, I'm still grateful. I'm still happy. And so, it's just, there's nothing you can do. I mean, I can't change anything because of, how I have it set. I certainly could, but I don't want to sit there and owe anything. And that's the whole point. I don't want to owe. I don't think any of us ever want to owe. I mean, so I make sure everything's taken care of, and I'm getting everything maximum taken out. So that way I am covered. There shouldn't be any flags. So, but so yeah, this year, I will still be able to squeeze in a few things, and there's some things I want to still hit. I there's so many other events that I want to get to, and right now I'm a couple checks. I'll be in good shape to. I know I want to make the one that's going to be in April. I have to get my phone. April Midwest Parafest is one that I want to hit because that's local for me. Plus, I'm really good friends with everybody. Everybody that's so far on the speaking panel that I remember correctly, are like I'm all good friends with. So, it's hard to pass up when somebody's here. And if I gotta, you know, scrape pull the coins out of the couch and stuff, then I'll do that. But yeah, so there's just a few of those I want to get. I know there's the big one that I still have yet to get to, is Midwest, or I'm sorry, Michigan Paracon. I still have not gotten to that one, and it's just last few years it's all been money. The previous years it was just schedule. I always had things, well, for years and years was always something happening that same time frame, and I was booked up. And so it's unfortunate because I want to go there. I hear so much about it, and you got to go at least once, uh, at least once, to get the hook. But yeah, so I mean, I haven't ruled out that one just yet, because like I said, I was with the money. I wanted to see how that was going to work under the new pay, rate and everything. And so that's another one that'll just be a few months that I've got to see, is it going to work out budget wise, and then everything else that's got to go along with it. So there's some things I still need to try to hammer out and see if I can make it work. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, Margaret saying your grandson was surprised when he saw, yeah, no matter how many times you tell your kids when they first get their job, and then you're going to not have some money in the end. Like they tell you, you're going to make this much an hour. So you do the math, you get your little calculator, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get this check. And then when everything is taken out, you're not getting that full check anymore. Nope, that's not how it works. Oh, that's cool. Amber Oliver House. Yep. Yeah. Michigan Paragon's blast. Yep. That's cool. Hey, well, there you go. See, if you could pay for your trip at that point, and then it was all worth it, right? Carrie saying, hoping to see Holly in Dallas in person in 24. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen Holly, I think, since 2019. I have never met Dallas, but because I got to do a few events with Holly before. But yeah, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen Holly since 2019. I've only talked to her like a couple times since, but she's been busy. She's been doing a lot, and I, have been busy and then dealing with things. So, it's just how it goes sometimes. But so yeah, there's a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, and I'd love to get around to it, and you never know. You never know how this year will play out. So there's still always, you keep it open, keep it, loose to the point of, hey, if everything works out, everything gets aligned, you make it happen, right? And look at that. It's 10:10. It's 10:10. Wait, hurry. I gotta put it in there. Officially 10:10 a.m. There it is. I got it. I just happen to look. I'm like, where am I at in the clock? Yeah, Margaret. Yeah, good point. Tell them to divide it by 3 and multiply by 2 because approximately 1/3 goes right. Yeah, yeah. There's my Jen. I know, Jen. I couldn't get to my phone to tell you. And 11 viewers. How about that? Well, it says 13 on my screen, but see, that changes all the time. Carrie, like, I get a number and it's usually pretty accurate within a few, second or two. So mine's saying right now 13, but it it's all good. It's all good. But I don't really look at that number. I because you stare at the numbers, it's not good. It's not good. It's one thing I learned years ago. You don't look at these numbers. If you're doing things like this, you never look at the number. You just don't. The only thing I do in the beginning is I wait to see at least one person's viewing before I really start the show. So anybody that shows up like instantly at 9:30 and logs in, and that's the reason why there's a full minute from 9:30 to 9:31 is because I just want that one person to show up. Because it's the only thing I feel weird about is like I'm just talking to myself, which technically I kind of am. I mean, I'm looking at myself right now on the screen. So um let's see. Amber saying, hope Old Mill Ferris will be on again this year. Will be the first. Yeah. So Amber, we won't know for sure. Because every year it's the same thing. It's got to go. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Yeah. So Amber, we should know. No, I don't believe is it January or is it February? Usually, I think no, by at least mid of February. I'm just going to say that by mid February, we will at least have a preliminary from the Old Mill board to let us know that they will allow us to have another one, because it's the same as every year. So I mean, we can never say it. I mean, now we pretty much, when we did our 10th this year, that was one of those that we were like, we're doing this regardless. So that one was the only one we really kind of pressured them to say we're doing this so that way we could start promoting it. But that's just the thing. So every year we have to wait, and that's I know it's hard because I know I get people asking about vending or speaking, and it's like, I don't know if we're doing it. I mean, we're pretty sure we will. We've been doing, we've done it 10 years now, even with the COVID year, but we just never, we have to wait. And, as long as we don't take a big hit, we're okay. And we've only had one bad year where we took a hit. And that was scary. Cause we were like, oh, we're dead. This will never happen again. But they allowed us to do it again. And then we put some money back in. And so it was good. So we weren't as much as in the red. We've been pretty good. So we're making money. It's obviously, nothing through the roof. It's no skyrocketing, thing, but we're a smaller type of Parafest. And so, you can't expect the world. But at the same time, it is a lot of fun. And sometimes the smaller ones, they may seem small and might seem like it's not worth it. But at the same time, we're all having a good time. There really isn't a whole lot of issues that go on, because most people know each other. You have an opportunity to make new friends or see friends you haven't seen in a year, because sometimes you only see them at Parafest, So let's see. I'm just rereading thing. Yep. Yeah. Isn't Parafest one of their best fundraisers? Yeah. Let's see. Well, Amber, shockingly, it depends. So on lineup, hey, Lindsay, good morning. So on lineups, it varies for us. There's been times where we've locked everybody in by springtime. We've locked things in by summertime, and we've locked things just at the end of summer. We've also had, speakers, presenters, back out. We've had them, change. And so that's another part of the gamble of doing an event like this. When you have presenters and things, there's a lot that goes on, and there's a lot that goes on, and then there is moments of nothing, like you're waiting for paperwork and you're doing this, and then there's nothing, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, because you can't pressure everybody for stuff. So but typically once we get the green light, we get a generic, flyer ready, and then we kind of open it up to vendors that want to grab it. But see, like things on that for people that are watching, vendors are um typically vendors are every all the vendors that were there the previous year. So like when we move into next year, when we get to, for the 11th one, if we do, all the people that were there last year get first dibs. Because that's just how we've always done it, and I think a lot of other events do that. They typically will reach out to the people that have been there and want to know, hey, you want to do it? So when we do that, we always tell you, hey, we're going to light it up, to where you can get your vendor spot on this date. So that way, when it goes live, you just immediately jump on it that day and you grab your table and off you go. So that's usually what tries to happen, because that helps, those few, tables that we get, help start funding, bringing in presenters, especially when it comes to somebody that lives farther away, or somebody that has an actual true speaking fee. When you get to the people that are in the industry that have been on TV and stuff, they have speaking fees, and then that doesn't, account for travel, doesn't account for accommodations, so there's several things that you have to, look into. So it's not just like calling up your buddy and saying, hey, come over. It's just not that way. It's not how it works. There's contracts that have to be signed. Sometimes there's stipulations by the presenters. They have to this has to happen, or they can't use this certain airline. Oh, I mean, it's crazy to think that there's all these things, the variables that you have to work through. So um, I am not, Debbie. No, I am not. I am not speaking at Midwest though. So that's one that I want to get to no matter what. So I'm going to try to do my best to be there. Um, so no, um, I've only spoke there once when they were still at the Toledo Yacht Club. So I haven't, but last year I attended, so, uh, which is always great. I love, you love to support, everybody you can, if you can make it, you got the money for it. It's always great. Hey, Dinah, good morning. Yeah. So, I mean, it's always that thing is trying to support as many as I can, because said doesn't always work out schedule wise, and money's, always an issue. And, so that's just how that goes. Yeah, Amber, and you got to remember that this year we actually had more vendors than we've ever had. It doesn't seem like it, but we did. Hey, Harold, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we actually, shockingly, I think we added 3 or 4 tables by chance. So, which makes a difference, but that's the thing is, you know, the we yeah, if we had more space on the museum side, it would be great. And obviously, we're not going to put vendors, say, up on floors 2 and 3, because that's a lot of up and down for people, and the elevators are constantly using. You have to use 2 different sets to get to the 3rd floor. So, you know, uh, we that all this stuff has been talked about, way back. How much can we squeeze in? And you got to remember, anybody that speaks gets their own table already. So yeah, I without a doubt would love to have more vending. I mean, I because it would help so much more. We could bring in a little bit, maybe bring somebody in that's got a little bit more money, required fees. But at the same time, that's why sometimes we have to kind of be careful. We have to try to get somebody that's maybe not as expensive, because prices do vary. We've seen it big time. We've dished out some big money on people before, so it's like, whoo. So, but that's just the nature of the business. That's how it goes. So, but we try to bring enough in to where we're covering enough of the topics and things, and that's the whole point, is trying to also give other people that uh, that are local, and that's huge. I mean, anywhere around any of the local states and stuff like that is always great, because we sometimes you could find that gem that's sitting there that you didn't know about, and even then, sometimes we, like this last year, I can't remember the lady's name, but she was a local author and she's done several, books, and uh she was, I got to hear the majority of her presentation, and she was talking about her books and some of the things she's seen and done, and I mean it gets really fascinating, because I never really heard of her until we landed her, and it was just like, well, this is kind of cool, And so you just never know who you're going to find that ends up being it works really well. So, well, of course we are, Amber. I'm using it in the presentation sense of it. Of, you know, hey, and that was great because I could for her, I had to bring out my actual day job roles and get her laptop up under the screen. So I felt I felt pretty good. I was doing a lot of duties that day. Yeah, let's see. They're used to it, but now we have right. Yeah, Dan, and we don't do ghost hunts anymore. Yeah, Debbie, we don't do the ghost hunts. It just see, that's another thing. So, like with the ghost hunts that we used to do afterwards, that was great because a lot of times people want to investigate with their favorite person they've seen on TV, and that's awesome. And the problem is some of them require another fee to stay out later. So there's that. Some of them just don't want to because they've already been up all day. Which is understandable. We have too. We're pretty wasted, we're hanging in there, when we're ending around 1 a.m., which is it's rough, So we've done the VIP party and that's now been a couple years and that's really worked out, and which you still get to hang out with them. All the presenters, go back to the hotels, they drop their stuff off, then they come back and then, we're hanging out. We got snacks and drinks and we got games and we didn't really do karaoke this year. Typically we do karaoke, but we really didn't this year. But there's just things like that, and everybody's just hanging out, and like I said, it ends up being fun. And then there's no other than watching, for the time to end the whole event, truly. But we like the party, and we've seen it happen on a few other locations that did that, and we liked it. And so I think that's why it works out in the end, because the celebrities and the presenters and so forth, they're willing to then hang out. They're not they're not charging us to hang out, at that point. So that makes it even better. So, but oh yeah, that's really cool, Amber. Yeah, and that's what I said. It just you just never know, and that's why sometimes it's fun to find these. That when they hit it and you're like, dang, that worked out really well. You just don't know. I mean, and I get it, not everybody's willing to get up in front of a group of people, and even if it's just like a couple people. Some people just don't hate being public, trying to do public speaking. It doesn't work out. So but yeah, so we'll see. I will obviously, when we get word and can and announce it, I'll definitely do that on the show. I will slip it in there saying, yep, Old Mill Parafest 11 is a go, so we will see. But yeah, we should know if it's not January, it's usually by February. And it's like, I think it's like either the first or second week of whatever month is where they establish all the events that happen on the Old Mill property, because there's a lot of other events throughout the year that go on. And so obviously ours is at the end of it, which works out. But so yeah, we'll know. Yeah, if it's not January, it'll be February for sure. But like I said, I will announce Old Mill once we know for sure. And I will, well, either way, if it's finally done and over with, I will still announce that as well. But I think, regardless, we'll always still have the ghost hunts for public and private. We'll I know in January late January, the team's gonna get together and kind of do our Christmas party. We couldn't get everybody together, so we're gonna have one near the end of January. And I don't know if we will. Sometimes we really don't always talk business, but we'll maybe throw some ideas of some public dates and things. If not, we will get some public set up this year. And privates are always one of those things that come in, but like if by chance, like let's say we don't get to do another Parafest, we'll certainly crank up the public hunts and stuff a little bit more, and have some people that have the opportunities to come out, and maybe we'll theme some of them. That's always an option we've had for years, of making some unique things to happen to bring people out for whatever reason. So where do we find out about Ghost Hunt? It's available. Amber, you could go to the Haunted Old Mill on Facebook. You can go to I mean, really, Haunted Old Mill is probably the best one to do, to find it. I mean, oldmillevents.com, that'll help you out. That's another good one. Do I still have that even listed in here? I used to have, oh, that's the Pearfest one. Well, that's not going to quite help you. Yeah, I don't have it anymore, but I used to have some of the links in here when I was promoting things, but then I take them out because you can only have so many. So, but uh, yeah, so yeah, Old Mill events, and Facebook haunted Old Mill. You can look up our team, SWPI, Spirit World Paranormal. You probably know that. We have links everywhere for that stuff. And then that, like I said, you can go to the page and check everything. I mean, I guess, what are we at? 1026. Let me see if I can pull one up real fast. Just whoops. I can type. I can't type. Let's see. I need the Jeopardy theme song right now. I had to wait. It's being redirected. I literally can hear the Jeopardy theme song right now. Here we go. Oh, Sharon, have a good day today. There we go. All right. I got to pull this guy. Nope, I don't want him. I got to switch it over. 1 second. There we go. All right, Amber. There you go. Yeah, so if you look at the top there, Old Mill events, you can see all the titles across everything. I know we've got a listed there, but don't jump to the conclusions. I know it's up there. I said it is up there, but don't jump to conclusions. We don't have a firm yet. This is just obviously we have to switch things over. But so yeah, but if you click on Old Mill events or Old Mill ghost hunts, this will give you everything. I can't see my screen over there. Okay, but yeah, if you scroll down, like you get to the bottom here. Where is it? Oh, see, I don't get to do it as that much. Where is it? That's where it was. Oh, under events. See, it's been a while. That's weird. Book of public. That doesn't make sense. It's book of private. So, man, I got my screen blocking. But yeah, if you were to go down here, this just gives you an idea of what you need to do, what you need to hit. When you're looking for like even a private, you'll have to hit. You'll send us an email about it, like right there. So that way you give us at least 2 to 3 dates, because obviously sometimes we can't get the entire mill. And then, yeah, I know we've got some old stuff in here too. That was a couple years ago, so that really needs to get moved. But we've been trying to get these guys back again. So I don't know if we're going to make it this year or not. We'll have to see. But yeah, but Publix, you just have to watch for us. We'll have that pretty much plastered everywhere, and then even then, I think, does it come up? I think it might. It's been a while. See, I don't run the site, so yeah, it's not. That's for the public. Usually, is there? I thought there was a calendar. See, I'm bad. Oh, now there we go. That's what I'm like. I know there's a calendar somewhere. So this too, if you go in here, you can actually see it. Like you'll know if there's something available. You know what I mean? And like I say, you can actually go through a little bit and get what we do know. But not always. Sometimes these, but remember, it's always on a Friday too. That's another important thing too. Sorry, I've been looking at the computer stuff, but there you go. That's just where you can look for Old Mill stuff. So back out of there. We're about out of time. Okay. So yeah, no problem, Amber. Yeah, you'll hear it. And as long as you're, checking out the Haunted Old Mill Facebook, the Swippy, I always try to at least repost it once on my Medium page, when there's a public. Sometimes I get carried up and I don't do it as much. I mean, I should, because I'm part of the damn thing, so I should be promoting it as much as possible, but I get lost in time and busy, so I get sidetracked pretty bad. But yeah, and even then, in a few months or something like that, you Amber, if you come back in a few months and be like, hey, any public hunts or whatever, I will probably have an idea that I can look it up and find out. So yeah. So Dessa was saying, looking forward to going to another investigation at the mill. Last one was great. Thank you, Dessa. Yeah, you guys had a fun night. That was and you didn't even get to everything because things were going pretty good. I remember that. So that was fun. But yeah, we are out of time, so I'm not gonna keep you guys too long. But yeah, I hope 2023 wasn't too bad of a year for you all. Obviously I had a rough year. The majority of it was bad, but I think I can reflect that, you know, keep moving forward, keeping my head up, keep envisioning myself getting back on my feet again. Of course, I'm not 100% on my feet, but, I definitely feel like I'm in the, 80 to 90% range. But it just shows you, no matter how low things get for you, no matter how bad your life may seem, there is always going to be that light that's there waiting. You just got to step into it, and so you have to step to it. And that was one thing I didn't do. I never gave up, as hard as it was. And, you know, I mean, so many things in the last, really the last couple months that have been great. There's, the promotion and, a couple other little things that have happened. The movie, that Anne, gratefully, donated to me, and the movie role for Cruel Summer. So many things I just didn't expect. And they just, that's what happens when you really push yourself and you don't dwell in it, and the more you dwell in it, it just takes forever to get out of there. And so, it's definitely, was a year for the, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to getting out of this year. I really am. So, I'm excited for 2024, and it's definitely gonna, I'm gonna keep staying positive, keep pushing, and, just make it the best I can and have fun and not push myself too much, and just enjoy things, and try to get out a little bit more. I got a few more bucks in my pocket, not a lot, but at least I'll be able to, I think I'll be able to show up to a few more things this year, at least try to. I mean, I maybe just wander around as a guest, but I'll be fine with that too, just to support, everybody, because everybody does so much, for all aspects of events and things. So I'm going to try to get out there a little bit more and hopefully get back to doing readings and healings really soon. I miss that, but yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for, hanging in there with me this year. I like I said, I know there were so many months from, middle of May until August, end of August or whatever it was, that there were so many months of not only just posting occasionally, and that I appreciate you guys hanging in there, and just, again, patiently waiting for me, and letting me, and knowing that you guys were willing to come hang out again, and enjoy the morning shows, even if you're watching this back at another time of day or days from now, I appreciate that as well. So it means a lot, and I'm glad to see all of you, and I can't wish you all enough, a happy 2024. Enjoy, any parties that you're going to. Please be, careful. If you don't feel right, if you've had a few too many, please, figure something out, or have, a designated driver or something like that. But be careful, be safe. Let's start off 2024 on the right foot. So yeah, think safe. So yeah, it'll be good. So again, thank you. I really means a lot. And I love coming on here and talking to you guys every Saturday, and so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it. And so with that said, you've been listening to Adam the Black Swamp Meeting on Mid-Morning Medium Chat. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here and hanging with me. And I will see you all in 2024. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care, and Happy New Year again. Take care.